The NFL supplemental draft. Detroit's cornerback Terrion Arnold. The Phillies, LaMelo Ball, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Julius Randle. That's all the topics that are on the 5th episode of the 2nd season of Friday Round Leagues with Jon Gordon. I'm Jon Gordon, and in this show, every single Friday, I'll be here to tell you about the most recent news that's happening around the major leagues. Welcome in, and let's get started. Alrighty, let's start off with the NFL supplemental draft. I don't know if all of you remember, but last week I did talk about the NFL supplemental draft. Well, forget everything I told you, because the NFL supplemental draft has been canceled. It's been canceled due to Brandon Sorsby's gambling crisis being brought up to the NFL, and they have decided to cancel the NFL supplemental draft. Now let's switch off to Terrion Arnold. He's been in the news recently. Well, he's now just been arrested on kidnapping and armed robbery charges. Yes, he has just been arrested for those. And if you can, remember back when the Eagles had, when he was drafted, the Eagles had a chance to pick him up. But we took someone that everybody knows that they call him Quinyanimo Bay. Quinyon Mitchell, who we drafted instead of Terrion Arnold, who's been an all-pro, and, now Terrion Arnold is in jail, and, the Detroit Lions have to pick it. Thank you, Howie, that we don't have to deal with this. And then that's all for the NFL. Let's switch off to the MLB, and let's talk about the Phillies. I've been giving my praise to the Phillies. Well, now I have specific praise to give to the Phillies, and that's about the last 3 different games, all against the Washington Nationals. In the last 3 games, the Phillies have been able to make, a 9th inning comeback in every single game. Yes, in every single game, the Phillies were down before that 9th inning, but then ended the game winning. They ended the game with a win. We were able to execute those 9th innings, perfectly. Throughout the whole game, it was a little rocky here and there, but, we're winning, and I'm extremely happy. We are now 4.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves, and it's just incredible. We're almost there, guys. Keep going, and I love to see the Phillies keep winning. And let's switch off to the NBA, because that's all I have for the MLB. Let's start with LaMelo Ball. Because LaMelo Ball has been traded. Yes, the Charlotte Hornets have traded LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves. Him and Ant Edwards are going to make a perfect duo. The first and third picks of the 2020 NBA draft are now together, and they are teammates. Yes, they are teammates. And the full trade package is LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2023 unprotected first round pick, 3 first-round picks in 2029 or 2028, 2029, and 2030, and 3 second-round picks in 2029, 2032, and 2033. It's a crazy haul that they gave up for LaMelo, but to get LaMelo, what else can you do? It's a superstar, pairing up with Ant Edwards, and, the team that they're going to have for next year is, sky's the limit for them, in their projections and, how well they're going to do. Because having these 2 number 1 options on this already stacked Timberwolves team is going to be incredible to watch. And then let's go to Giannis Antetokounmpo, because he's also been traded. And he's taking his talents to South Beach. Yes, making a reference to LeBron. But he is taking his talents to Miami. Because the Bucks have traded Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Heat. And the full trade package is Giannis and Bobby Portis to Miami for Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Kasparis. I'm not going to try his last name. I don't want to butcher it. And a first-round pick in first-round picks in 2031 and 2033, a pick swap in 2030, and a second-round pick in 2033. like the trade up before the LaMelo Ball trade. It is a lot to give up, but to get that superstar to add to your team, and especially, pairing him up with Bam Adebayo, this is going to be electric to see. Even though they really don't have, many of other possessions because they gave up a lot, having the two superstars on their team is definitely going to, help Miami maybe a little bit, And then let's finally end off with Julius Randle. Not many people know about Julius Randle, and this trade might not mean much, but at the end, you'll realize why it means a lot. But it means a lot, not for the team he's traded to, but for a different team. But Julius Randle has been traded to the Nets in a 3-team trade. The 3 teams are Minnesota, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Chicago Bulls. The Minnesota Timberwolves gave up Julius Randle and the 28th pick in the 2026 NBA draft. And they got back the number 33 pick in that 2026 NBA draft. And the Bulls, you might ask, what did they get? They got Nick Claxton. Getting Nick Claxton for the Bulls is a big plus. Not really having to give up much is, even better. Getting a proven kind of star on a team that wasn't really great, sending him to Chicago, young team that are going to be able to really, get everything, together hopefully this year, having Caleb Wilson and, adding Nick Claxton, having Josh Giddey, and, having that whole team that, kind of showed us something last year. Hopefully they can show us a little bit more this year. And then the Nets getting Julius Randle. He's still an amazing player. And he's definitely going to be able to produce. But, the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't really want him that much. They, traded down in the draft just to let him go. But, it freed up some space so Minnesota can try and get someone else. But, adding Julius Randle and also the 28th pick is, just extra for the Nets to, maybe make something of, the season. Now it is time for me to tell you why the Julius Randle trade really matters and what team it matters for. It matters for the Los Angeles Lakers because the 2 teams in this trade besides the Timberwolves are the Nets and the Bulls. And those teams were favored to get Austin Reeves. Well, because of the contracts that they now have to, take on, those 2 teams are ineligible to get Austin Reeves to give him the money. And he has decided to sign back with the Lakers on a max contract extension for 4 years, $185 million. That is a crazy bag, but it's deserved. Because Austin Reeves has been an incredible player for the Lakers, been an incredible second and third option for the last 5 seasons. There you go, Austin Reeves. You've made your money. And that is all from the 5th episode of the 2nd season of Right Around Leagues with Jon Gordon. Thank you all for watching, and please subscribe.